My name is Clara Weston, and on the day I buried my husband, my daughter handed me an envelope that changed everything. It wasn't a love letter or a condolence note. It was a contract. Mom, Lydia said softly, her hand resting on my arm, Dad wanted everything to be simple. He told me to help you sign the house over, just to make things easier. Her voice trembled, the kind of tremble that hides intent behind care. I looked at her, the only child I'd raised through storms and scarcity. I wanted to believe her. But something in her eyes flickered, not grief, not love. Calculation. Maybe later, I said quietly. Not today. Her smile froze for half a second, then returned. Of course, Mom. Rest first. But rest didn't come. That night, as the house settled into silence, I sat by the window and thought about what Lydia had said. My husband, James, had built this home with his bare hands 45 years ago, every brick, every nail, every beam a piece of his love. And now, before the ground had even hardened over his grave, my daughter wanted it gone. A week later, I found out why. The call came from our family lawyer. Mrs. Weston, he said, hesitant. Lydia has been asking about property transfers. Says you're planning to move into assisted care. I am? I asked. He paused. You didn't authorize that? No, I said, my voice like ice. But I'm about to. That night, I opened the old trunk James and I had kept at the foot of our bed, the one Lydia never bothered to look inside. There were files, deeds, insurance papers, account records, everything we'd earned through a lifetime of quiet work. And there, beneath it all, a small velvet box. Inside lay a note in James's handwriting. If you ever feel cornered, remember, everything we built is still yours. Trust your strength, and no one else's. My tears fell onto the paper. He must have known. The next morning, I visited Mr. Bennett, our lawyer, in person. Can we change the will? I asked. He raised an eyebrow. You can do anything you like. It's all in your name. Then I'd like to create a trust, I said firmly. Everything stays under my control, until the day I choose otherwise. He nodded slowly. You're protecting yourself. No, I said. I'm protecting what James and I built from people who think love is a transaction. A few days later, Lydia returned. She brought flowers, and that same too sweet smile. Mom, she began, sitting beside me, about the paperwork. I handed her a cup of tea. It's all taken care of, I said calmly. Oh? You signed the transfer? I did something better, I replied, meeting her gaze. I signed you out of everything. Her face went pale. What? The house, the accounts, the land, all locked in a trust. And I've updated my will. Her voice rose, sharp and trembling. Mom, you can't just. Oh? You signed the transfer? I did something better, I replied, meeting her gaze. I signed you out of everything. Her face went pale. What? The house, the accounts, the land, all locked in a trust. And I've updated my will. Her voice rose, sharp and trembling. Mom, you can't just. Oh, but I can, I said softly. Because you forgot something, Lydia. You were raised by me. I know every shade of manipulation there is, because I survived life before you were born. She stood, speechless, and for the first time I saw her without pretense, not a daughter grieving, but a woman exposed. I just wanted to make sure you were cared for, she said weakly. I already am, I whispered. By the man who built this home and the woman he made me become. After she left, the house was quiet again. Too quiet. But in that silence, I found something unexpected, peace. I spent the next months tending to the garden James had loved. I repainted the kitchen in the color we'd always planned, pale blue like morning skies. Then, one evening, as the sun bled gold over the horizon, a letter arrived. From Lydia. Mom, I'm sorry. I forgot what mattered. I miss you. I hope you're okay. I read it twice, my heart aching, not from anger, but from recognition. I wrote back just one line. When you remember love more than inheritance, my door will be open. It's been 2 years since then. I live simply. I teach piano to neighborhood children, bake on Sundays, and talk to James when the house gets too quiet. Some nights, I sit by the window, watching the lights fade in the distance, and whisper, not in sorrow, but in gratitude. Because they took everything I built for them. And I built myself instead. At 68, I didn't lose my life. I found it.